Welcome everybody. Welcome to today's stream. Hello, hello. Welcome, Filthy, welcome. Hope you had a nice day so far. So today we are gonna play a lot of Weaver. That's my plan. I want to cook some builds because I always tell people in the tier list and stuff, Weaver is one of the worst specs. And today I want to show what you can do and what you cannot do. So I try a little bit, try maybe come up with some crazy new builds. So today it's Weaver day. Oh no, that's not good. Hopefully at least I can cheer you up a little bit. Hopefully. So Weaver, what can we cook with Weaver? So we want to have a Weaver build that is capable of soloing. So I'm starting with a Weaver solo build. But the problem is Weaver doesn't have access to boons. So that's the problem. And yes, that's correct. We will play World vs. World with Staff Weaver later. That's true. But I just wanted to start out with the solo build because I'm actually really curious if I can make it work. Because the idea on Weaver is that you're very selfish. You can't provide a lot of boons to yourself. But you have quite a lot of damage. So maybe we can find a way to actually get some boons and can actually make it work. Yeah, this one is, sadly, this trade is actually, it would be really good. You know, I could apply a lot of conditions and stuff with that, but it has a 3-second ICD. 3 seconds. That's so long for so, let's say, somewhat unimportant boons except weakness. It's actually crazy. This one is obviously quite good, but maybe this one is better. Oh, no, I would say it's actually quite decent. I have some CC. Oof, it's actually, this one is important, and those two are important, I guess. Let's try it like this. This one is of course important. Interesting. So how can I get my boons? I get somewhat a lot of might and fire. To check. Currently I'm on strength and frailty, so I get probably enough anyway. So what kind of relic would work here? I need some damage relic. Probably Fractal is the only good choice here, and then we can try it out. But I feel like it's you have too little boon access on Weaver here. I mean, if you have instantly 25 vulnerability on the golem, that's good, but you don't have any swiftness, quickness access. That's feeling so bad on Hammer. It's actually insane. I think I have to swap to something that actually does at least some quickness here, because that's horrible. That feels so bad. It's actually crazy. And your boons are too short lasting, I would say, for the most part. That's the sad part. The might is instantly kept, so that's not a big problem. I mean, 16k, it's okay. So you can't see it, wait. Let's put it here. 16k. That's not even that bad, I have to be honest, without quickness. I can give myself quickness if I swap the strength sigil to celerity. Then I get 5 seconds of quickness after disabling a foe. I have here 50% boon duration, so I get 7.5 seconds, maybe something like that. So half uptime, it's feeling better than nothing, I guess, but still not good enough, I would say. You have a lot of CCs on air. Okay, let's try it like that. maybe that helps. And otherwise I have to swap to a little bit of a different build. I really wanted to make Hammer work on Weaver because I feel like Hammer on Weaver is really interesting. Not a lot of people actually know that this works actually decently well on Hammer. On Weaver at least, yeah. But there we go, there's the quickness. It's already way better, but I lose it and I can't get it back that easily. That's the problem here. Welcome, Kuro. Welcome. Just trying out some Weaver and trying to make a solo build work on Weaver, but I feel like it's actually really tough to make a decent solo build work because I feel like the problem is that Catalyst is just so much better. That's the sad truth here. Because the boon access is just insane. It helps a lot. And Weaver doesn't have the crazy good boon access. And I instantly lose the might as well. I think the might is a big problem on this one. Let's see how much it is. 14.3, so it's 1.4k less. Okay. I asked a question about should I pick my class 2 days ago or something. I've decided to play Revenant. Yeah, that's a good choice. I mean, Revenant is really good in all game modes. It's a fun spec. It has one... It's a little bit, you know, I wouldn't say it's the easiest class to play because you have to learn that you can't swap your utility and healing skills freely. You have to swap the legend, and the legend will change how you know, have to play because you can't adjust it. But I guess that's probably fine if you enjoy the class. It's way more important. Yeah. By the way, let me know if the music or if my voice or stuff is too loud, too silent, whatever. Welcome, Josie. Welcome. Hope you all had a nice day so far. I'm currently trying to get Weaver working in PvE as a solo build, but it's really tough. It's really tough. Maybe I just try it with Scepter, but I feel like Scepter is also not making that much of a difference. Scepter Warhorn, maybe. Yeah, maybe Hammer is Copium. Maybe Hammer is just not working. Maybe you have to really go for Scepter. Scepter Warhorn maybe, I don't know. Or maybe I just have to go for Earth. I think Earth is probably the way to go. Earth has so much access to crazy good utility stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to find it out, Yusuf. So we have the question from YouTube if Hammer Weaver is a thing after the upcoming buffs. So I would say Hammer is actually working decently well already in PvE on, for example, Catalyst is actually really strong on Catalyst in a solo scenario. And I wanted to test if I can make it work on Weaver already in a solo build. But I feel like Weaver is just so selfish that oftentimes I really can't make it work for the most part, yeah, which is really sad because I like Weaver. I think Weaver is one of my favorite specs. What is a good weapon combo with Elementalists? So Scepter Dagger is in PvE one of the best combos that you can run. Otherwise, it depends on your playstyle. In World vs. World and PvP, if you want to play support, play Staff. If you want to play aggressive, you can play Spear. And Dagger, for example. Yeah. So it depends a bit, Dung Beetle, what kind of play style role you want to fill. I think Elementalist weapon, I have a video about it where I discuss in detail what weapons are good or how I would put them, where I would put them. It's just 1 week old or something. And there I noticed in that video that actually every single weapon on Elementalist has a spot when you play it. It's not that one weapon is completely dead. But the thing is, it is not, you know, you can't say I play Staff and I play it everywhere. That will probably not work out very well because it's just sometimes some weapon skills are completely useless in a specific scenario. That's just my... So it depends what kind of role you want to fill, where you want to play it. Yeah. If I don't play during peak times, will Guild Wars 2 feel dead? No, not at all. It depends, of course, what game mode you play. So if you're playing PvP, then it might feel dead. But even if you play World vs. World, if you play Open World, even if you want to go for some kind of instance content, even there you can play in the middle of the night, for example, and you will find people. So actually Guild Wars 2, I would say, is not dead at all. The only exception is PvP. So structured PvP, where you fight 5 versus 5, there you have then queue times from 10 minutes or something. That can happen. Yeah, that can happen. I mean, I can link you, Dung Beetle, I can link you the video, give me a second, where I discussed this, because if you're interested in that, that video is actually really answering your question for that matter, because it's really, I discuss every single weapon where I can see that someone uses this one, and that's obviously exactly what you asked for. So that's the weapon. I posted it on weapon discussion on Twitch. Yeah. See you later, Filthy. See you later. Yes, this is a cooking stream, Galen, but in a different way than you expected. Yes. So if you want to replace Sword on Power Weaver, Sword is obviously a really good choice. If you want to replace Sword, probably go with Scepter, but the problem is Sword is so good on Weaver, you know, the dual skills on Weaver are so good for Sword, they are made for it, obviously. So I think if you don't like Sword, I'm not sure if you, in PvE, if you should stick to Weaver. Maybe because the Spear dual skills are shit, so you don't use them, at least in PvE. I don't know, I'm not completely sure here. But okay, so let's try that out. We play Weaver with, oh my god, it's horrible. Look at the boons, it's almost non-existent. Solo Weaver, and I try to make it work, but it actually looks horrible. I have to be honest, looks horrible. I mean, the Might and the Fury uptime is okay, I would say. What other than that, I don't know. Looks really bad. I mean, maybe we can make it work to some extent, but it's so much worse than Catalyst. It's actually insane. If I play the same setup, the same traits, everything the same, just Catalyst instead of Weaver, it's actually 10k more DPS or something. It's crazy. Yeah, 14.5, yeah, 14.7. It's not worth. Dagger on Weaver is okay. It's actually a decent weapon in PvP on Weaver, but it's in PvE. I would say it's sadly worse than Sword in almost every way. You can make it work, yes, it's working, but you will probably be better off if you run Sword. That's just the truth, yeah. But of course, if you like the playstyle, that's the cool thing about Guild Wars 2. You can just still play it in PvE at least. You will not be completely dogshit. You can still play it and it will be fine. Yeah, that's just okay. Yeah. Okay, let's try now Scepter. Sadly, I wanted to make Hammer work, but Scepter is probably the superior choice here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's quite tanky, that I give it that. But other than that, it's actually, I don't know, I see that the boons are not crazy good. The boon access is okay, I would say. I mean, it's definitely better, this one, than the Hammer variant. But the Hammer variant will get buffed, so maybe it's still the way to go after the next patch. I mean, it's better, I think, this one than the Hammer. No, it's not. 13.8. That's crazy. It's actually not better. It's really hard to make Weaver work, actually, I have to say. How can we change that? Maybe you can answer me regarding alts. I feel like I have to do everything on alts again, like story quests, to get access to certain maps. I have no idea, but I don't know what is content that I should on my alts versus one-time only content. I know I can do fractals, world versus world, but I'm not sure what is the usual alt view. So I can show you what I mean with what I would say when it comes to alts in Guild Wars 2. Because I have 70 characters, so I know what I'm talking about. So if you want to play open world, obviously it's better if you have one character that has explored most of the map, so that you can teleport to the meta events and that kind of stuff. That helps. If you want to play a different class, maybe you have to do the world completion again to get to these things, yeah? That can be annoying, that's true. But you can make gold out of that. So it depends if you like it or not, but it's actually worth it, yeah? If you want to get to the story maps, like the new ones, like for example in Chancia Wilds and stuff, then it's a little bit annoying because you have to go, for example, either through story quests and do them again, or just use, for example, this doorway and go to your home instance or homestead, and then go to the portal in the south corner of the map, where you can then go to the lowland shore, for example. So you can use some cheese here. So I would recommend to create a new character and don't do the story again. If you enjoy the story, of course you can do it again, but I wouldn't. I would rather, for example, buy those portal tomes that you can get from most maps that were released, let's say, after Heart of Thorns, where you get, for example, access to travel to Bloodstone Fen and whatever. And then you can, for example, travel to the Wizard's Tower, or travel to Arborstone. That can help a lot. So that's what I put in my shared inventory slot to get access to my alt characters. And if you want, you can invest in recharging teleport to friend, like we just mentioned here in chat, yeah? That's really helpful if you want to teleport really fast. For example, you just join a squad. Let's say I want to join a squad in Mistburnt Barrens or Rift Hunting or whatever, what is currently up, and join it. And then I can just double click this item and choose a player and teleport to it. That can be really helpful if you have a lot of alt characters. But other than that, I would say alt characters are... I personally don't really have a problem using them because I just use them for instance content, use them for World vs. World or PvP, and everything like that is available. You don't really need to. The only thing that you need to do is level the character, get enough hero points to unlock the elite spec that you want to play, and that's it. Of course, you can also get some gear that you want. That's the only other reason, but that's really it. You don't have to have map completion. You don't have to have story completion whatsoever. So it's really actually quite alt friendly in that sense, yeah. I would use sword, Kure, and maybe staff just for safety. That's probably the best bet. You can also use, no, I would say, if you want to play power, so direct damage, I would go with sword. And if you want to play Condi, I would go with mace X. I think that's the Condi weapon set that you want to use, yeah. Yeah, no problem, Dung Beetle. The maps tied to the living world have the portal scrolls, exactly. And you can also get some city portal scrolls if you want to. Would you recommend level boosting your character to level 80 for players trying out Elementalist? If you have another character at level 80, I think boosting another character, for example the Elementalist, to level 80, I think is okay. You can do that. But be aware though, those level 80 boosts are actually quite hard to come by. So you don't get them very easily, or at least not if you don't spend real money. So that means if you just waste it, so to say, for playing one character for 1 hour and then you don't use it anymore, then it's a little bit sad. So yes, you can do that, but just be a little bit careful, yeah. So I would say if you know that you will like a class, then go for it. But if you're unsure, maybe just watch a video, someone playing, how it looks, how it feels. When someone plays it, if the class fantasy is something for you, and then you can use it. You can also try it in the silver waste, so this one gives you a thing and then it's in pop-up, and then it will also give you access to it before you really can, let's say, confirm it. You get it once and can play it in a map just to see some preview of it, and then you have to confirm it after the preview. Yeah. Especially, yeah, like Sigga puts out, you can also just use it in PvP and see how it's there, because in PvP everyone has access here, and you just go and see it there. You don't have to level it in, let's say, in the real game. You can play it at level 80 in PvP already. It's already up leveled. Yeah. What is Condi? I hear it a lot. Is it like a damage over time? Yes, exactly. It's damage over time, and that's just Guild Wars 2's name for damage over time. So for example, this attack does 297 damage, direct damage, and it does burning, and this burning does over a little bit over 5 seconds 1.7 damage. 1.7k damage rather. So that means that you have some attacks that do direct damage, and you have other attacks that deal a lot of damage over time, and you have a lot of attacks in Guild Wars 2 that do both. And it depends a bit on what kind of gear you use to actually make them scale. But that's obviously quite important. They wanted to jump in to say, I love the channel, wish Warrior got more love in the game. Welcome, Anthony. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I agree. I think Warrior is a little bit, especially in PvE, is a different kind of class. It feels like it's not really loved by ArenaNet. Yeah, that's the sad part. It was 2 has actually done Gang Beetle quite a lot of stats that are important, and every class actually can make use out of them. So I already have some guide about it on YouTube as well. My attribute guide where I talk about all the attributes that you can get and why they are useful. So that can help for new players as well. Warrior is fun, but I feel like in PvE it's not as good as it could be. I think there are definitely problems there. Thanks for the follow, Strakori, Siga, Mammoth, and all the others. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Yeah. I mean, Warrior, especially Berserker, I really like. It's a fast-paced play style. It's really cool. I like it a lot. Yeah. So, I don't know. I feel like Viva cooking here is actually not working out very well. I have to be honest. It's not as crazy as I really hoped. If you swap that for Catalyst here, and you have instantly a broken trade line. Instantly, absolutely broken. It's actually insane. I can show you if I play it on Catalyst, the difference. The difference is absolutely insane. Oops. So what do we have here? That looks very good here. Very good. Nice. So if I play this now here on this column, the difference. Wait, I have to swap on Sigil here because that's not necessary. What do I run here? Probably Torment or something. And let's see the brokenness here. Look at the boons. And what I don't have on Viva. And I have a lot of boon access from this. I have a lot of stats. I have just a lot of survivability back into the kit. Running the same gear, running the same weapon. Just one trade line change. Yeah, I think I have to run a little bit of different trades. I think they are not completely correct for this setup. But the difference is immense. Yeah, I think I have to swap at it. Power Mech will be really good after the patch. Don't worry. It will be in a little bit more than 2 weeks. We actually get a new patch, new balance patch, and this will be insane. It will be completely insane. So don't worry about it. It will be really good. Welcome, Halle. Yeah, glad you liked them. Really glad. Do you have a video reviewing your add-ons and what you use them for? Yes, I have. I have 2 videos. One of them is for Blishart, which is currently I'm using for the mouse cursor and stuff. And then I have one, or I will make one about Arc DPS. Let's say that. It's not out yet, but it will be soon. So currently I'm not using Arc DPS because it's broken, but it's where you see your how much DPS you do. Yeah. This is correct now. So there we go. Now it's correct. Yeah. This is Hammer. Yeah, this is Hammer. So now we are talking. It's actually so fun. I really like the quickness Catalyst Hammer playstyle. It's actually really fun. Let's check. I will re-chat in a few seconds. Just let me do to 80% to see how much DPS I actually do. Because we see it in chat here. Yeah, 20k without food. Difference is definitely notable. That's a build, you know. 20k solo, that's a build. If you are below 15k, it's not a build. That's just insane. Yeah. Yeah, I would say you shouldn't boost your character if you're, let's say, having a if you're first time playing Guild Wars 2, you should not boost your character. You should only do it if you already leveled another character. This is Weaver. Yeah, it's still Weaver. But now I swapped to Catalyst because Catalyst is better. That's why I wanted to show the difference between Catalyst and Weaver. Weaver is completely fine, but I think Catalyst is better. Yeah. So, which elite spec should I go for with Revelant? Depends what kind of. If you want to play instance content, I would say Herald is a good option. It's also a very good option for solo content. I would say Herald is probably the best start elite spec on Revenant, just because it's probably the most straightforward one. It gives a lot of boons, it gives you a lot of damage for the most part, and it's very tanky. So very good spec overall. You can play it con your power. So yeah, I would say Herald is the way to go. Yeah. This was Catalyst, and before that I was trying Weaver. Yeah. Yeah, I will do a Renegade build for solo open world PvE content stuff very soon. I want to, I cover every single elite spec slowly. So that will come out soon. I tried Weaver now. I have to be honest, Weaver is very bad. So maybe I'm not doing a video about Weaver just because it's not very good. But Renegade will be good. So don't worry, there will be a video out maybe next week, maybe the week after about Renegade. Yeah. What about healing for Revenant at the moment? Is it good anymore? I would say healers on Revenant are really weird. They are one of the most potent healers in the game. So the amount of healing per second they put out is the highest that you can expect. You can play Herald heal, you can play a Renegade heal. Vindicator heal sadly doesn't work because you don't provide any boon. Thanks a lot for the tier 1. Really appreciate it, Kyla. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoy the content. So I would say both Herald and Renegade work very well as a healer, but, and that's the sad part, their utility, because they are bound to legends. So you have to use, for example, Ventari. You have to use Clint on Herald. So you have to be stuck in one corner. You always have to use the same legend. You can't swap, for example, to do some more CC. You can't swap to do some more reflect. You always have to use those legends. Makes it very, let's say, it misses the flexibility of other healers. So if, for example, if you look on for Chronomancer and stuff, and you see a Chronomancer can go 5 utility skills or 4 utility and elite skills that provide a lot of CC. And if you don't need CC in a fight, they swap all of them and go for stability or more healing. A Revenant can't do that. A Revenant sticks to the legends that it's used for healing, yeah? And that's a big problem. That makes it a way less versatile. So I would say Herald and Renegade healing for me is A tier. They are really good. They are probably one of the most potent healers when it just comes to the raw output of healing. But the flexibility, because you are support, and you're not only a healer in Guild Wars 2, you want to support your allies with a lot of CC, with a lot of maybe revive power, a lot of stability access and that stuff. And that's way harder to achieve on a Revenant than on, for example, Chronomancer, Druid, maybe even Catalyst. Yeah. So that's why I would say healers on Revenant are working somewhat, but they are not S tier. That's my answer here. Yeah. Thanks, Kyla. Thanks. So for a beginner, what class should you advise for a first healer? So that question comes up a lot, and I would say you can start out with Druid. I think Druid is really, really good, but, and that's the big part here, it's really, really good in strike missions and raids. But if you want to be a healer in Fractals, which are the 5-person instance content in Guild Wars 2, the dungeons, so to say, then you should not play Druid. Druid is really good in strikes and raids, but it's not as good in Fractals. In Fractals, you would rather have a Chronomancer or a Firebrand. However, a Firebrand I would not recommend as a new player, because a new player typically doesn't perform very well on a Firebrand. So I would say that my recommendation currently is Chronomancer. I think Chronomancer is a very good pick for people to start out with healing, because it's quite easy. You don't have to press all your buttons and you still achieve a lot of stuff already. And it has a very low skill ceiling, so you can easily get into it, but it's actually quite hard to master. And I think that's a perfect way to start out with healing. Yeah. Strike missions, Dung Beetle, are like one encounter raids. So you have a raid consists of 3-4 encounters where you typically just say, okay, there are 4 bosses or something, and in a strike mission you just get one mini small raid boss that is just one, and you can do them very fast paced most of the time. And it's just Guild Wars 2's way of making raids a little bit more accessible, but I don't know, it's a little bit weird. Yeah. I think, Cigar, I would not recommend Heal Firebrand to new people. That's really the biggest mistake a lot of people make, because Heal Firebrand is extremely strong, but only if you can play it. A lot of people think, oh, Heal Firebrand is really strong because someone else played it or someone recommended it to me. And then they play it and they perform really poorly on it. Why is that? Because Heal Firebrand has a lot of cone attacks. So you have a cone in front of you. So if I want to support this guy, I would now be able to support him. But as soon as I stand here, I miss 80% of my attacks. So Heal Firebrand, you have to position very carefully. Yeah, this works, this doesn't. So please, it's very important as a new player that you understand that, and maybe then you shouldn't try it because you want to focus on something that's a little bit more mechanics on the fight and stuff. Yeah, and a lot of people actually are already quite overwhelmed when they go into the game of Guild Wars. So you want to be sure that they start out with something that is actually a little bit easier to play. Yeah. Alacrity Heal Mech is actually quite decent. Yeah, I would say Alacrity Heal Mech, don't worry about it. It's actually a very good pick. Yeah. Exactly, Dunk Beetle. That's it. That's it. It's not exactly one of those bosses, but it's one boss. Yeah, it's one boss that is not previously in a normal raid, I would say. So I'm really tanky on this build. I like it when people really try to go on me here. That's perfect. And now I will just push far. This is the only time where I would say Viva is actually viable. It's actually really, it's funny. In PvP, Viva is actually viable if you play it with Hammer. It's so good. Welcome, Filthy. That was fast. That was fast. No, it's actually not. You will get the rival on Chronomancer as soon as you get to Soto. You have to have Soto. That's the only sad part. So the Secrets of the Obscure expansion. Yeah. Okay, so I guess I will leave far for now, but they are all greeting on mid. 4 people from the enemy team there. Maybe I just push in the 1-1 against the Willbender. That's a good one. A PvP season typically lasts around 2 to 3 months. Yeah. Yeah. So typically you have to play 150, 175 matches or something when one season to be in the end of the leaderboard. Yeah. I mean, I would say Viva in Filthy, the summary here is Viva in PvE is not working as a solo build, sadly. Catalyst is just way better. I would never do a Viva build that is just strictly worse than Catalyst. I think that's the sad part here. I guess they are all mid. I don't like it. Just go for the decap here, I guess. Okay, never mind. My gosh. I don't know. That's the sad part. If you I tried to actually side note, but my ranger just decided, nah, I want to go side note. Okay, they go there, so I guess I will go for the cap. It's really bad if you are side noder and my team is just consistently losing the team fight. I really don't know where I actually have to go here. I guess we just leave the bell for now. Yeah, it's true. It's actually really sad without Arc DPS, I agree. I'm a big fan of arc DPS just to make the game a little bit more enjoyable. This build is so tanky. They got me. We lost the bell, but I guess we won the map for a little bit. This is PvP right now, yeah? After that, we will try some World versus World Weaver. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that we get Arc DPS back this weekend, and then we should be fine. I mean, there is an unofficial version already, but I just want to have the official version. That's always better safe than sorry. I don't like to DC in a random PvP match or random just World versus World nice encounter or something. I don't like that, so I want to be safe. Yeah. Okay, I guess we just go here. And then I guess I'll go for the decap. They are already in a two. Where's the enemy team actually? Do they have the DC? Interesting. Yeah, see you later, Dung Beetle. See you. It takes a few seasons, so potentially a few months. Need ranked PvP tickets for each season. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it depends. The PvP thing, if you grind it really hard, you can actually get the legendary armor quite fast. It's not the fastest. Well, maybe it's the fastest legendary armor. It depends a bit. But it's faster than World vs. World for sure, which is the least, the slowest for sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Chronomancer is really good in all content. So, with the exception of roaming, I would say roaming in World vs. World, so you run around solo, that's a little bit, I'd say not that crazy good, but in all other game modes, it's actually working out quite fine. That's a matchup I like a lot, actually. 2 and a support. They can't do anything against me. I will just kill them in a 1v2. That's good. This build is so underrated. It's actually insane. This guy has no chance against me. That's the funny thing. Even though he's a necromancer. You know, necromancers are typically very... We got the bell. We are actually coming back in this game. It's actually crazy. Nice, we got them. Willbender is trying to kill here. Okay. You sound so evil. I'm sorry. And just, you know, I really try to do my best in PvP and really try to perform very well. I don't want to be toxic or anything. I hope that's not sounding like that. I'm just really trying to be very descriptive of what I'm doing so that actually my, let's say, newer players, newer viewers are actually learning something from my gameplay. Even though it's, you know, I see that PvP is really fast-paced and you can't really learn a lot if you're not already very experienced in the game, but still. That's not a very good thing that I'm doing here. I'm team fighting as a, let's say, a rather side-noting build, but the good thing here is we have already all points, so I'm not really sure where I should move. Nice, we won the team fight. I will reach chat in a second. This match is over, I guess. Nice. I died once. That's good enough. Only dying once is okay. It's not as good as not dying at all, because that's your goal in PvP. Don't die. But yeah, I guess that's fine. We did it. Weaver does very well in PvE. It has the highest average DPS on logs. I'm guessing it's a burst. It's very strong. How do you go about learning the spec? Somehow got Weave safe line to line up with exposed. So the reason why, Yusuf, that's a very fun thing that you, let's say, researched there. The reason why Viva has the highest average DPS on logs is because people that play Viva are very skilled. Yeah. And a lot of people just don't play Viva because it's the most complicated elite spec for Elementalist that there is. Yeah. So people that play Viva are very good at the game and they know when to use Viva. That's why it has so high numbers. Because if you know when to use a build, you can make it work on a specific encounter and have really high average DPS. If you don't know how to play a build, then typically people either don't play it or a lot of people play it and that really already drags it down. And Viva is not played a lot. That much I can tell you. So that's, and I would say you're completely correct there. You have to play really fast paced and you really have to get the burst right, especially with the exposed debuff and of course with the, how is it called? Weave self, the rotation goes even faster and smoother, so you have to align that perfectly. That's a lot of training, especially in Fractals, to actually make that work. That's the truth, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you saw it here, Christic. It worked out well this time, the PvP. It worked out this time in PvP, but sometimes when your team doesn't do anything, when you are trying to side note, then it's just you can't do a lot. That's how it works. Yeah, I mean, I really hope that they will improve Viva in the future, because I think Viva is somewhat lackluster, and I think you can't cook a lot with it, because Viva is just, it's always complicated. How can you make a build less complicated without destroying its core functionality, which is the dual attuning, so that you have fire and earth or fire and air, for example, at the same time? How can you make a build easier without, you know, if I would say, okay, just dual attune all the time, so always go in fire, but then why are you playing Viva at all? You know, that's like saying, okay, I'm playing Necromancer and never go into Shroud. It feels like, okay, you're cutting it down so much that it's actually not working anymore. So yeah. Okay, so I guess it's time, 1 second, to roam on, or not roam, but rather try Viva in World vs. World. I want to showcase it here as well. Come on. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't like hammer on a lot of classes other than elemental. On elementalist, I don't like hammer on other elite specs than catalyst because I don't have quickness access, and I think quickness is really horrible. But after the next patch, they will actually nerf the quickness access on catalyst in World vs. World, and therefore I want to make sure that it's actually working somewhat decently well on another build maybe, and I think Hammer Weaver is actually really underrated. Yeah. So let's try some World vs. World, and I also wanted to showcase the DPS Weaver, yeah, which is extremely high DPS if you can perform and pull it off. Might be the fantasy of a mage standing in the backline and casting their really hard-hitting skills into the enemy circ. That's how it works. And yeah, maybe we can have some nice showcase here. Thanks for the follow, by the way, God Power. Really appreciate it. As always, if you have any questions as a new player, please don't hesitate. I try to answer them as fast and as truthfully and as knowledgeable as I can. Yeah. I think there. No, I have to lower my limit here. Okay. Okay, let's go for Circ DPS Weaver. You have to play really carefully on this build. That's insane here. I have a lot of tools actually to make a lot of damage, but I will also die in a few hits, so I have to be really careful. Oh, come on. Let me get... Oh, come on. That was, for me, it was a little bit of a delay between the attacks. I didn't, oh, 3-way fight, nice. Now I can just free cast in there, I guess. Oh, holy shit, the attacks are lagging so much. I'm pressing. It's not working. World versus World in Guild Wars 2. You know, I'm pressing the attacks, but until they go off, they are already gone, the enemies. Sad. Sad. I mean, Staff Elementalist does only work as a support in PvE. That's the truth. It's not really working in anything else than support. So you can play Staff Catalyst or Staff Tempest, but Staff as a DPS weapon in PvE doesn't work. That's the sad truth. Yeah. Yeah, it's a big fight. It's big thing going on here. So if you're on my server, be sure to join. It's actually insane what's going on here. It's actually a decent showcase if I don't have a lot of lags here to actually make that work. Because if you have such an open area where I can cast a lot of my skills, it's actually very nice. It's even better if you have a choke and you can actually hit all your meteors and stuff. Spear is actually decent, Cyril, on Viva. Or in general, I would say Spear is decent in World vs. World. But the big problem that I have with Spear, I can show you, is that Spear has, on contrast to Staff, a lot of projectiles. Yeah, a lot of the attacks are projectiles. Staff, for example, Lava Font, Meteor Shower, are not projectile based. That means they can't be reflected or deflected. So that means that all your skills that are, let's say, reflectable on Spear are just not working in a circle. Because there will always be some kind of reflect or projectile destruction up. And that means that you will just lose half or maybe even more of your attacks will not do anything. That's obviously really bad. On Staff, you don't have that problem. So that's why Staff is the more superior option if you want to deal a lot of damage on an Elementalist. Yeah. But of course, if you enjoy it, sure, go for it and try it. Sometimes it works decently well. But most of the time, I would say if you are fighting against a somewhat big amount of players, it's very uncommon that your projectile skills actually go through. Yeah. I really also... Oh, they're coming. I think Staff is a very interesting weapon in Guild Wars 2 on Elementalist because you can play it as a fully DPS option in World vs. World, but you can also play it as a full support option. It's not a lot of weapons actually are capable of that. Oh, you see how much damage I just passively get? Just from standing completely outside of everything? It's just full class Elementalist. I mean, I did some nice damage here. That's nice. But it's probably on another... Oh, come on. I mean, the DPS is a little bit more bursty, that's correct. But I think the long, let's say, the DPS over 1 minute or so on a Staff is just superior. Staff has, especially on Viva, you have so many AoE tools that you can just rotate through and you will just get so much damage out. Sadly, I don't have arc DPS now, but this is really crazy how much DPS you can do on Viva. Especially if the fight is in a choke or something where you hit all your meteors, all your lava fonts, all your firestorm and whatever. It's actually really crazy. Yeah. And it's also really fun. I think a lot of people underestimate how fun Viva can be or Elementalist with Staff. I really think that's, for me, one of the most attractive fantasies of playing World vs. World as a DPS. I want to be really free casting. I want to get a lot of hits on the enemy team while standing in relative safety. I think that's very nice. Of course, if you are in a really organized squad, sometimes, for example, Holosmith will probably pull out more DPS if you have a really nice support and stuff. But if you're just like me, I'm just following a squad, I think Viva can be really, really strong. Because you can stand out of most of the hazardous actions of the enemy team, I would say. Nice, they are back. So currently I'm using Marauder here, which is power, precision main stat, and vitality and ferocity minor stat, because I want to get as close to 100% of crit chance as possible. And then I also get some nice vitality just to a little bit more effective health, because Elementalist has low armor and low health pool baseline, so having a little bit more can help a lot to make sure that you actually survive to deal with your damage, or to put your damage out, because that's obviously what you want. You don't want to die instantly and have 5% more DPS, so that's why you go for Marauder. And you could min-max a little bit, but I think this is the best option. Yeah, I will do a guide about it this week, so don't worry about it. I just want to showcase a bit here on stream. And I think Saturday or weekends in general are quite nice to get some nice fights going. So you can see it here already. We have some decent fights. And it's a good showcase then, because obviously you don't run it in a solo scenario or roaming scenario. You run it in a big circle. Oh, the chill is killing me. Okay. Yeah, glad you liked the Scrapper video. I mean, it was a nice build. It was long overdue to make a Scrapper build guide, because I think Scrapper is really underrated. It's very strong. Probably my favorite engineer spec in PvE, because I don't like the mech. I already told it a lot on stream. I think I'm not a big mech enjoyer. I think I don't like to have a pet with me. I think pets in Guild Wars 2 are quite stupid, especially the mech. But Scrapper is really fun. It's really strong, and it's really underrated. You can make it use as a healer, as a DPS, a quick DPS, even as a solo build. All of that works, so I really like Scrapper. I will do a lot of build guides about Scrapper in the future. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's fair if people like to play mech. I think it's not like you really dislike mech in that sense, but I don't like playing it. I think it's really annoying to actually get the mech to do what you want to do. Sometimes it's just running stupidly around and it's not really following your orders. I really don't like that. Didn't we get new stats in World vs. World? I mean, the new stats in World vs. World, I think, were Demolishers. So you get instead of vitality on this gear set, you will get toughness. That's the new stats that we got. I think that's what you're referring to. But they are on a low health pool class. I think the toughness is not as crazy good, because you will die to conditions very fast, or will just get passive damage very easily. I think having more health, so around 20k health in PvP and World vs. World is typically the amount that you want to have. And then you can invest in toughness to get a little bit tankier. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's true. The extra vitality might not make a difference, but you 4 stats combos in World vs. World and PvP and stuff, or everywhere actually, 4 stats gear sets have more overall stats than, let's say, 3 stats. So typically, it's just better to run a 4 stat combo and get a little bit of a stat that you might not really feel necessary, but it's still more worthwhile to run than a 3 thing. I mean, this gives also ferocity. I will make a build guide about it. I make a build guide about it, and that's the best choice. That's by far the best choice for damage and stuff. You want to get to 100% crit rate with Fury, and that's only possible if you run, for example, Marauder and stuff. It's just, you need Marauder to get to 100% crit rate, and you need also to run, for example, a little bit. You can run a little bit of Dragon Pieces to counteract the ferocity loss. Don't worry, I min-max that. I think that's the best option. So my monitor, I think, is at least my main monitor where I'm playing Guild Wars 2, I think is 27. Yeah, 27. I mean, it's of course it's personal preference. If you don't see the survivability boost that you get from running Marauder gear, then sure, go for full Berserker or some kind of mix without Vitality or Toughness. I mean, if you can make that work, sure. But I feel like oftentimes people say, I go full Glass Cannon, and they instantly die. I think having 50% more health makes actually a difference, in my opinion. Because otherwise you would run around with 12k. 12k of health is actually not a lot. Some attacks actually one-shot you. For example, a Virtuoso F1 fully loaded, fully charged, that will kill you. So I don't like that. I don't want to be one-shotted from 1200 range with one attack. Yeah. I'm just saying what my reasoning here is. I mean, it doesn't make your argument invalid. Don't worry. Yeah. Oh, this time I think we might lose actually. Yeah, I don't know. It's close. It's a really close fight. It's actually crazy. Oh, come on. That's what I meant. Getting one shot for a fucking Deadeye. I hate it. Sniper Deadeye on me. So, welcome, Suis. Welcome. Yes, I'm having a very nice Saturday. Hope you too. By the way, can Celestial Harbinger counter Celestial Cutter? Yes. So, in general, I would say Elementalist struggles against Necromancers for two reasons. Necromancers have a very high amount of corrupts, which is really annoying against Elementalists because Elementalists probably really like to have protection and stuff to counter their damage. And secondly, Elementalist is extremely vulnerable to chill, and a lot of Necromancers apply chill passively, and chill is really hard to deal with on Elementalist because you have so many weapon skills. All of them have longer cooldown rather. So that's why Celestial Harbinger is a really good counter to Celestial Catalyst, just because its baseline doesn't matter which build you run, you will probably be better off. But, and that's the important part, there are some Elementalist builds like Dagger that don't care too much because they have so many cleanses, and then you will be fine overall. But most Elementalist builds don't have crazy cleanse access. For example, if you're playing Weaver, if you're playing only fire trade line without earth, then you actually struggle with cleanses, and then you will probably have a bad matchup against them. Yes, that's correct. I think it's fine. I think it's good to have some classes that are performing better against others, because I think that's how a game should be designed. It should be in a way that you always have something that counters another thing. Okay, round 2, I guess. I mean, the damage is quite nice. It's quite nice. I mean, it's not like I'm killing the enemy circle or anything. I'm just providing a lot of passive damage. Ooh, they got them really good there. I think it's over again. They're actually farming us now. Sad. I'm cooking something really crazy here. I'm using the new Relic of Fire, which gives you 10% more outgoing damage if you have Fire Aura. And you get Fire Aura when you use your healing skill. That sounds that sounds like, okay, you don't use your healing skill that often, but you're playing a Weaver with the Fire trade line. So whenever you swap to Fire, you actually get a Fire Aura, so you get the 10% damage buff. And on a Weaver, you actually get the Fire Aura quite often, which is really surprising, because that means the 10% damage buff is actually up quite frequently. And 10% is high. That's not a lot of damage multipliers in Guild Wars 2, especially on relics having 10%. So it's a really good choice. I'm still testing if I actually can make it work all the time or if it's just very inconsistent, but I feel like right now it's actually quite decent. Yeah. Thanks for the follow, Synthesized. Really appreciate it. Okay, they got the tower. Maybe we can now kill them. But I think it's not a good spot to fight here. Yeah, maybe we should go for some kind of choke or something. I also feel like we only have, I don't know, maybe 25 players and they have a little bit more. Yeah, glad you watch my videos on YouTube. And I'm even more glad that you are now here on Twitch as well. Yeah. If you have any ideas or maybe some kind of videos that you want to see in the future, please let me know. I'm always open for ideas. You know, I'm someone very open to feedback and stuff. So if you have something that is really important to you, maybe to someone else that you want to get some input on, be sure to let me know. I think that's really important to have some discussion, debates with the community and see what is on your mind. I think that's really helping me as a content creator to actually provide content that is actually interesting to you. Yeah. So the new world versus world changes, I did not make a video about it, but maybe you want to still know what's happening. So with Tuesday, we got the update to the reward tracks, which is really weird. But the reward tracks are now way more streamlined. So you have now way less reward tracks that you can select. And you don't lose anything if you are only interested in the last part of a reward track. So the big box, you will still get the stuff that you can select, for example, from whatever reward track you actually used. But, and that's the important part, it merged the small boxes together, so you don't get all of the small boxes anymore. So for example, if you were farming a specific map currency, that might be a little bit harder to come by now, but you still get the big ones. So I think overall there is a change for new players to actually make it a little bit easier to select which kind of reward track that you want to go for. But I also feel it's because you get the same end reward, I think it's also more convoluted because it's more hidden where you actually get the specific end reward that you might want to get. I think it has positives and negatives, the new merging of this reward track system. For me as a veteran, I don't really care. I also didn't care before if the reward tracks were that high amount. I think that was also fine. I'm just thinking that maybe for new players there are advantages, but I don't know. Do you have any stuff about fractal CMs and stuff? Yes. So I have fractal CM guides on most fractals. I think actually all of them, except one, I guess. Yeah. And I also run some trainings on stream, so maybe that helps as well. And maybe you want to join in the future. Regarding required classes, I typically discuss that in my fractal streams. So I do fractals very frequently on stream. And there we discuss what kind of classes very worthwhile, which one is not. So maybe I will do a summary video about that, but currently I don't have that. That's an interesting video. I'm not sure how many people are actually interested in that, because the problem is a lot of people that play fractals in tier 4, and tier 4 fractals, typically you can play whatever. It works if you're somewhat decent, you know. But if you go to CMs and want to go fast in CMs, then there is some specific requirements what kind of classes actually work well there. But the problem is, if you look at how many people are playing fractals, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think a lot of people play open world, a lot of people actually play world versus world. But fractals are, I would say, somewhat frequently run by normal players, but not all of the players actually are running fractals. But then, let's say, I don't know, maybe the number is maybe 50% of the total community runs fractals somewhat regularly, something like that. And out of this 50%, I would say 99% are just running T4s and not running CMs. That's actually true. That much we know, because ArenaNet actually told us that previously in some kind of AMA. Yeah. And that means that only a very small fraction of the people that I would create this video for would be interested in this. And that's something that I always have to consider. Yeah. That there is actually a very small amount of people really interested in this kind of try-hard instance content. And that is really hurting my views. So if I put a lot of effort in my video and then the YouTube algorithm says, oh, no one watches this, then that hurts a lot. And so I have to be really careful what kind of video I'm putting out, because that might hurt my YouTube channel in general, even though I wanted to help the community, you know. So maybe it's better to answer this question in stream and really make us, let's say, keep it on stream. Yeah. Questions on YouTube. I only have POF and Heart of Thorns expansion. What build can I play for World vs. World roaming as a Necromancer? So you can play. That's actually what can you play there? I wouldn't go with Scourge, and I wouldn't go with. You can play Reaper, I guess. You can play a Reaper build. That's probably the best option for you. Condi Reaper maybe. It's actually a decent build to roam, or Celestial Reaper to roam. Maybe I can make a build guide about it in the future. It's not my favorite roaming spec for Necromancer. I think Harbinger is just superior, but if you don't have EOD, you can't run Harbinger. So yeah, I think that's my suggestion. Reaper would probably be my bet, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense if you want to farm the hero points in World vs. World. It's actually quite fast if you just play consistently, and it's actually also fun. Of course, it's probably better if you run around in a circ, because you get more of the World vs. World level ups and stuff. That helps. But you will get them with roaming as well. World vs. World currently, Rex, is actually quite fun. I actually enjoy it. I'm trying to showcase a little bit of full class Cannon Weaver to do some damage. It's actually decent, yeah. Thanks for the follow, Skids. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's really fun. Which weapons you suggest? So if you play Celestial or Condi Reaper, I would suggest Scepter, Torch maybe. But if you don't have Soto, you can't run Torch. So I would probably go Scepter Dagger or Scepter Warhorn with Staff. Staff is always a must in competitive mode on let's say a Condi build, because it's just so much defense. It's really good. Yeah. So Staff and then Scepter and probably Dagger. That's my bet, yeah. If you want to play a Condi build. If you want to play Power Reaper, is also playable. It's not crazy. It's not the S tier build, but it's a decent build to play. Then you would probably run. Yeah, you probably can't run without Soto. You need to run Soto or Chantia Wilds. Those two expansions are just so. They give you so much value in build variety, because you get access to spears with Chantia Wilds, and you get access to switching your weapons. For example, I can use Hammer that I got on Elementalist with Catalyst with EOD. I can now use on Weaver, for example, if I have Soto. That helps a lot. And that also helps, for example, with Necromancer Torch or Necromancer, even Greatsword to some extent, stuff like that, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Neem. Thanks. Really appreciate it. And I'm always happy to answer questions, so don't worry about it. Yeah, I think that especially Chantia Wilds and Soto, if you are someone that really likes to try out different builds and has the money lying around, I think the expansions are actually very worthwhile. I think especially if they're on sale, they're actually very worthwhile. Thanks, Clearwater Legacy. Thanks a lot. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Raiders. We are just playing a little bit of World vs. World. Full glass cannon DPS Weaver. Just showcasing how much damage you can actually do. Hopefully I can showcase that without dying. Currently it's working somewhat decently well. And yeah. Just wanted to, today is a little bit, I want to showcase that Weaver is in some scenarios actually very worthwhile to play. And in other scenarios it's completely dog shit. So I wanted to really showcase where it's good, where it's not. So I tried earlier to make it work in solo open world, as a solo open world build, and it was horrible. It was really, really bad. You couldn't make it work, I would say. It's just so much worse than Catalyst. It's insane. Then I played it in PvP. It's actually very nice. I like it in PvP. It got me to Platinum, so yeah, Weaver is back. Nah, I'm joking. It's a really good build. It's very underrated. And now I'm trying it in World vs. World and showcasing, and hopefully get enough footage to make a build guide about it, yeah. Thanks for the follow, Slack. Really appreciate it. So I hope you had a nice stream, Clearwater. Yes, the Staff Weaver will be on YouTube, of course. Yes. Will come out this week. Yes. But it's like with the Spear Mirage build guide that I put out a while ago. A lot of people said, "Oh my god, finally we got a Spear Mirage build guide." Yeah, and then everyone tries it and really feeds. You know, it's just completely, you can't win with it because Staff Weaver and really class cannon builds in Guild Wars 2, they might be really good in hands of players that can perform on them, which is not always myself, just saying. But if you play it as a new player, if you play it without a lot of experience, it's actually challenging. It's challenging a lot, you know. So please be careful with that. And even if I put out a video that says this build is really good, don't expect it to be good in the first 10 minutes of you playing it. Yeah, it's really important that your expectations are somewhat reasonable. Yeah, especially on glass cannon builds. So where are they all gone? Ah, there they are. Okay, I was already wondering if the blue Zerg just doesn't want to fight us anymore. Okay. Almost fully stacked Bloodlust. We are almost fully charged. We are almost fully ready here. Okay, we are pushing. We are pushing. We're pushing. Come on, let me cast, please. Oh, that's dangerous. Okay. Nice. Sadly, I couldn't hit my meteor shower though, because I was actually stun locked from some kind of static field and stuff. That's obviously really nice if you get some stability here. But you could see I actually could cast on the backline decently well in that fight. Of course, typically if you play Staff Weaver and have an organized squad, really organized, let's say 4 supports per subgroup, then it's better to run some really meaty, aggressive build like a Holosmith, maybe like a Dragon Hunter or something like that. And that will perform probably better for the most part. But if you're not in an organized squad, like I'm currently, I think Weaver is very nice. Is there a reason that my World vs. World games are dead? Like around 3 or 4 people working around for 10 minutes and then die? Yeah, the problem is we have now with the alliances, we have guilds just mixed together to form the server. And sometimes your guilds are just very inactive and you get matched against other inactive guilds often. And that makes the matchup very dead. But if you're on a very active server where you have a lot of guilds that are playing really World vs. World and very heavy and very long, then you are currently like my server, for example, or the other 2 servers we are matched against, we have a lot of people actually playing all the time. So it's a little bit matchup dependent. If you want to make sure that you get in a matchup that is actually somewhat active, you should probably join a World vs. World guild. That's the only real possibility how to influence that. And even then, it's not guaranteed that you will get a very nice matchup. Just saying that it will help you. Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah. And I have to agree. I think it's with the changes from the server system to the alliance system, I would say it's not really 100% better in that department. I would say it made things worse for some people and it made some people happy, but I think it's overall it's a mixed thing for sure, because it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, I have to say. I think we had last link, so I think 4 weeks ago now, we had our server was completely, there were people there, but they were so bad that we had a 50-person squad or something, and the enemy team had, I don't know, 25, and they completely farmed us. Yeah, and that was not only once, that was the whole week, so, like that. And that's a big problem, because then you are just very unevenly matched in amount of skilled players, and that makes it very unfun for me as a just casual world versus world player to actually join in the action. So I think it has always big negatives in that regard, but on the other hand, you now can play with a lot of guilds, you can play a little bit more tryhard, I would say. So I think that's somewhat fun. So I think, like I said, it has its advantages and disadvantages for sure. Okay, so what do we have here? The blues. Okay. I mean, we killed them once, so I guess we can kill them again. Hopefully we get a nice three-way fight again, because the greens are already also somewhat here. We had it earlier here in Stonemass Castle, so maybe we get another one. For my matchup, the whole week EBG was tier 3 for one enemy. I mean, that's crazy. I saw that post on Reddit actually, that the whole map was, I think it was red with tier 3 and stuff. That was actually insane. Yeah, I think that's, I would say that's not very nice. That's not a very good matchup making. And it's also not very, I don't know, promising for the future, because it's very unlikely that it will get better in the next few months, because there's no update planned as far as I know for how the matchmaking works. And that's really sad. That's really sad. Yeah, and then there were spawn camping. That's really unfun for sure. I mean, what can you do? I mean, maybe just not play the World versus World this week, which is really sad, because that's not what you want, of course. You want to play whenever you have time, but sometimes that's just how it goes, I guess. But that's easy for me to say as someone that plays all game modes, yeah. If you play only one game mode, then you might have a very dead week. This is very bad, of course, yeah. Okay. I actually got a nice meteor shower this time. But they also farmed my team. That's not good. No, maybe not. Maybe it's not over yet. Oh, maybe we got them. No, it's really close. Actually really close. Okay, we get another meteor shower. This time it wasn't that good. Yeah. This time we got them. Very nice. Yeah, this was a juicy fight for this Weavers. I did actually not have a lot of problems to actually stay alive, and you could see the damage output was actually there. It's very sad that I don't have SM right now. SM, what I'm talking. The arc DPS meter. But yeah, very nice fight. You could see the potential here. If you don't get CC locked or instantly killed, you are fine. You are fine. Now let's defend SM. Back in the old days, I played a lot of Weaver. Sadly, it's not that good anymore, but it's still very nostalgic to come back to it. And I think it's it's definitely my favorite elite spec of Elementalist. And it's probably overall one of the best elite spec fantasies, in my opinion. Just from the idea to having dual attunement and stuff, I think that's really fun. I really liked it. I don't know about you, but maybe you can just follow me on that sentiment. I think it's actually, it makes the game very interesting to have even a more challenging aspect of Elementalist than the core attunements. Having dual attunements, I think for a veteran it's really fun. That wants to have some kind of challenge. Okay, so let's see if they're coming. They're coming. Okay. That was greedy. Nice, I think we got them. Very nice. Wasn't the best meteor shower this time, but I mean, we got them. I mean, very nice, very nice. It's a lot of action. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. This morning is a nice EBG morning, for sure. What happened to Delta Connected? I hope he did not get kidnapped. I think he is just on vacation, as far as I know. I think he should have been back yesterday, as far as I know. So hopefully today or tomorrow we will get the update. There is already an unofficial version that works, but I don't like to use the unofficial version because there might still be some bugs in PvP and World vs. World. So better safe than sorry. I don't want to DC on stream all the time. Thanks for the follow, Tea Party Hero, Popsy. And yeah, really appreciate it. So that's what I would say. It's just wait for, hopefully today and tomorrow it will come out. Yeah. I mean, it's fine, you know, you don't have to have it every single time the next day when the patch drops. I think that's fair, but it's obviously he's a very important figure for the community if you are playing hardcore in Guild Wars 2 or want to have an arc DPS to see how much DPS you do. I think that's fair. Hopefully we'll get it soon. I think it's also very, very important if I want to play PvE. I think in PvE and instant content it feels so much worse if I don't have my DPS meter. Okay. Yeah, this is really fun. I like it. We defend SM from all sides. I like it. Very good. Okay. Rematch against the Blues. I think last time we won quite easily against them. I think we also have a little bit more players. But let's see. Come on. I have to be really careful. I don't want to lose all my stacks. I have fully stacked Bloodlust Sigil. Oh, I also have to pop my food. Don't have my food ready. Where's my food? There we go. Now I'm fully ready. Of course, if you want to greed even more, you can go for Thesis to get 200 power when you are above 90% of HP. That, of course, should not be that difficult because typically if you're not at above 90%, you might be dead. But it's very expensive. It's very expensive. And it's also somewhat greedy. I'm not sure if the 200 power will really make the difference. Okay. Are they coming? They're kiting. Oh, maybe they're coming now. Okay, we are kiting now. Have to be really careful. I really want to predict their movement. Yeah, I think this time I hit the meteor shower. Yeah. This time it's good. I have to really, the positioning has to be on point here. Yeah, I mean this was a rather clean fight. I mean, I didn't hit all my skills, but a lot of them actually worked out decently well. Get another meteor shower coming up. Yeah. Not perfect, but I got some hits in it, I guess. And now they're retreating. Very good. We won the fight. Nice. I like it. Good fight. I got Muscopium that we get a new elite spec with the next expansion. I mean, do you have any proofs or any thing why you think that, or is it just you are just very positive this time? I would be very happy about it, and I would be actually, it would be very surprised, but I would be extremely happy. So I actually hope a lot with that. I want Warlocks, so Elementalist finally can get Boon Strip and Boon Convert. Being the master of Arcane, it's really weird to me. Elementalist doesn't have any interaction with Boon other than applying. That would be really cool. I would actually like that a lot. I think that would be a really fun spec. It would be like an Elementalist that has some Necromancer influence or something. That would be really cool. I would like that. I'm not sure if they will ever go back to elite specs, I have to be honest. Just because the amount of content and the amount of features they put out in the last year is just not really promising to me, you know? If you look at Soto, how much features we got, I like Soto. I like the Wizard's Vault, I like the Legendary Armor and stuff, but for example, the weapons we got with Soto are not very fun to me. And now we got the Spears. I like the Spears, but they are not even close to having as much influence as elite specs. So I'm not sure if they ever go back to having something that game-changing, that they also have to keep, let's say, developing in the next years to come, because you can't just say, okay, I put out an elite spec and I don't balance it after the release anymore. So I think for them it's a lot of work, and I'm not completely sure if they would really say, okay, we put out 9 more elite specs in the next expansion that we have to then continuously balance until the server are shut down. That's actually just my biggest realistic negativity about this, that it's probably not happening because they are just not having enough resources for that. But I would really like it, especially some really cool Warlock playstyle. I think that's really fun. Yeah, I agree with that. But I mean, oh, how did he get back there? Is there a teleport? Can we get there in time? I mean, I can try, but I didn't see the EVP. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of elite specs that can be really cool. I don't think Elementalist is the only one that needs a really cool Warlock stuff or something. I think you could also make a Warrior that is very specialized in healing. I think that would be also very fitting, because that's missing. But I think it's just not very realistic, because they already have so much stuff to worry about with the keeping the game balanced as it is. So I think it's sadly very unlikely. Until I get there, all of them are dead. That's the sad part. Oh, maybe there are some left. It's actually quite a decent number. It's good. Okay. Oh, come on. The only thing that CCs me is when I cast my Meteor Shower. Okay, I guess I get it. Nice, we got them. Yeah, it's too much dev time, and it's kind of proven now they are relocating resources to other project areas. Yeah, I would say it's actually quite easy to see that they actually have something other than Guild Wars 2 going on at the moment. It's just I would be very surprised if it wouldn't be the case. But oh, did we lose Stone Mist? Oh, we lost Stone Mist. Oh no. Yeah, so I think that's very easy to actually say that they will probably are working on something else. I just hope it's related to Guild Wars 2. So maybe it's a very big next expansion. Probably not. Maybe it's a very crazy rework of the engine or something. Maybe, probably not. Something like that would be really cool. But I think the most likely thing that we will probably get is a Guild Wars 3. I don't want to be, coping too much, but I think that's my prediction here. Thanks, Matteo. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it, follow. So I think my prediction is they are currently working on maybe 30%, maybe not even, people of the employees are working on Guild Wars 2, just to keep it in some kind of maintenance mode, providing content, getting financial stuff, getting the money flowing or keeping it flowing, while they are working with the bigger part of the employees, with the bigger part of the studio on Guild Wars 3. That's my prediction. I don't know what Guild Wars 3 will be. Yeah, it could be an MMO, it could be an RPG, whatever. But I think they are currently working on it. And they will announce it, maybe if we are lucky at the end of the year or something. But I think it's very likely that they will not announce it this year, and probably also not next year, because developing a big MMO like a next AAA MMO takes years. So I think they will announce it very, very late in the production process, when they are already quite sure about everything. And then you will see the player numbers in Guild Wars 2 drop a lot, because people don't invest time in an MMO that is already somewhat on the downhill. And that's why they don't want to have that earlier, because they need the money from Guild Wars 2. Yeah, that's my prediction here. But we don't know. We don't know anything. It's just my prediction. And let's see, in 1-2 years how it turned out. We can. Oh my god. That was a virtuoso burst. Yeah, okay, I mean that's over. I mean, I really think it's not a mobile game. I really hope so, and I really think it's not, because mobile are typically not at least as far as I know, are not developed in Unreal 5 engine, which is the thing that they are looking for, getting new employees and stuff. So I think it's the Unreal 5 game, probably console and PC at the same time. So we will see. It's actually probably quite a big thing that they are working on. But, you know, it's just prediction at this point. I mean, we know from some really, let's say, lackluster sources that it will happen, but it's not, you know, we don't have any official statement, and that's the only thing that really proves it. So that's the thing that we are looking out for. And yeah, hopefully we get it soon, because that would be really fun. I would really like to get some more speculation, maybe some information on this project, but it's maybe you're right there. I really hope not, Filthy. I really hope not. I don't get me wrong. I don't dislike mobile games. I think there are some good mobile games out there, but I think Guild Wars 2 is just way higher on the level of a game than Guild Wars 3 being on mobile. I think that would just destroy my enjoyment of the game. I think my expectation is so high that it's very unlikely that actually a mobile game can make that work. I have to be honest. Where did they go? Maybe here? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you look at, for example, Unload Data, you actually can play Unload Data, for example, on a mobile game, let's say on a phone or a tablet. I think that would be quite easy actually to do. But if you want to play Vivo or something on a mobile, a smartphone or something, that would be impossible. Yeah, it's actually insane. Do you have any tips for the bridge events for Vision? So that's a really annoying. So my tip here is play at really off hours. So play when, for example, no one else is doing Dragonfall, and then you can do it solo and just go to the bridges on the map when they are, let's say, when no one else is there, and the map is I think when the map is just, how is it called? When the new map is created on Dragonfall, then it's very likely that the bridge events are happening directly at the beginning. So if you can get that map status and you can actually get 3 map of those at once, I think that's what you want. Because if you... Okay, 1 second, I have to concentrate here and not die. That's a good meteor shower, I would say. Nice, nice, nice. And we might still lose, actually. I'm not sure. Ooh. Yeah, we still lost. They are good. They are good. That much is clear. Yeah, I think the bridge events, like I said, you just have to grind them and really hope for a new map when no one else is. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. You can't really say, okay, I will get them now, because if there are farms going on the map, it's really hard actually to get them in time. So, Mathieu, this is a build that I'm releasing a build guide about in the upcoming days. So I'm currently gathering footage on stream. So I will do a build guide about this really class cannon DPS Viva build for World vs. World. It will be out probably around, I don't know, Wednesday or something like that. Yeah. So don't worry, there will be a build guide about this, yes. I lost all my stacks. Oh no. Should have put some underwater stuff in there. There we go. Surma works like a hamster. I mean, is that a is that a compliment or is that an offense? I don't know. If you work like a hamster. Yeah, maybe. I know Parrish, but sadly we are not friends. I think he doesn't know me. Yeah. So would be interesting to talk to Parrish about World vs. World related stuff. I think that's really interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I decide. Okay. I guess then it's a compliment. I don't like to be offended on stream. Yeah. Checking boosts. Yeah, looks okay. No, World vs. World, you always want to run with all the boosts that you can get. Just so worthwhile. It's crazy. How much value you get? 50% more experience gain and reward track gain. It's crazy. You get with the boost of 100% magic find and World vs. World rank boost and 10% boost. Get the World vs. World 50% increase again. You get 25% experience and reward track. It's insane. You get so much stuff. So it's really important that you run around with that. So a question from YouTube. Would you recommend Guardian or Ranger or any other spec to a high ping player? I have POF and Heart of Thorns only. I have tried Necro, but don't really click with it. So that's a lot of stuff that I have to take into account. Let me think for a second. So high ping typically favors classes that are somewhat slower in a playstyle. So you typically don't want to run, for example, Mesmer and Thief because they have a lot of instant cast abilities, which is not something you want. Instant cast, especially in competitive modes, can be really hard to hit if you have high ping. So I would say Guardian is actually a nice thing. So I would agree with Moist actually that if you play World vs. World or even all game modes actually, Guardian is a very nice pick for you because it's very safe. You're a heavy armor class. You have a lot of builds that work and you have a lot of support builds, which are typically builds that are a little bit slower paced than, for example, a DPS Willburner or something, but you can still play it. I think it's definitely better than a Thief or a Mesmer. So overall, I probably recommend Guardian if you like the class design, the class fantasy. I think that's very important that you play a class that you like the design of. Because if you play, for example, like you said, Necromancer and you don't really like it, and you still stick to it, that will probably just decrease the amount of fun that you will have in the game, and that's not something you want. Of course, you want to play something that's fun to you, even if it's not the absolute best, yeah. Yeah, so that's my recommendation. Probably Guardian. And probably I would go for Firebrand. Firebrand is really good in all game modes. Maybe with the exception to PvP. Even there, it's actually quite worth it. Welcome, Pizza. Welcome. For World vs. World Legendary, do people farm or just buy the battle stuff, the memories of battle? Yeah. So the thing is here, I would say a mixture. Yeah. If you play a lot of World vs. World, you actually get them quite frequently. Yeah. You can farm them quite consistently. But if you want to get 2,000, 3,000, it's better to just buy them. So I would say just play a lot of World vs. World because for the Legendary you anyway need the tickets and stuff, so you have to play World vs. World to actually get that. But if you don't have enough of the Memories of Battle when you are completed, when you are done with the tickets, then you can buy them. I think that's how I would do it. So I would always say, okay, I would make a mix and try to get the stuff that I need at the end. Yeah. So that's how I do all my legendaries. So if I'm deciding, okay, I want to go for a new legendary, then I just get everything that's account bound, and then I spend the money to actually purchase, for example, okay, I have 148 Vials of Powerful Blood, I need 250, so I purchase 102 when I have all the account bound stuff ready. So I think it's always the smart way to say, okay, I try to get as much as I can myself, but as soon as I can purchase it with gold and I want the legendary now, then I get it. Yeah. Welcome, Snowdrop. Welcome, welcome. How much DPS comes from consumables? I struggle a bit with hitting benchmark numbers. I'm not sure whether it's bad rotations or being too lazy to cook. It depends a bit on the build. So if you need the consumable to crit cap, that is a bit more influential than if you have a consumable that is just giving you a little bit more power. But typically, the consumable is actually, especially if you run the Ascended food and the correct enhancement, utility enhancement, then it's actually not... It's actually quite surprising how much you actually... Come on, the Immobilize was nice. Really annoying. Yeah, so that would be something that I would keep into consideration. How much DPS it is, it's really hard to say. It depends a bit on the build. but my guess would be 1k, 1 to 2k, maybe something like that. Depends on the build, of course. For example, if you run Celestial Food, then it might be a little bit more because you get more stats overall. But it's actually quite surprising. So I think that, no, it's actually probably more than 2k. It's probably 3k if you don't run food. I have to be honest, I never bench without food because I'm, you know, either I'm going for food, I'm not, or I'm just trying to get the rotation, you know, and I'm not really looking at the number at the end. Maybe Snowdrop knows, but ooh, that's a big fight here. I think we will lose. I think we lose. Even though we have the Frenchies here, the Frenchie guild is here. I was actually clicking my buttons, but it did not work. So sad. Yeah, it's 5%, yeah, 5 to 7%, I guess. Yeah, it makes sense. The thing is, it is really heavily dependent on the build. But I think it has to be higher than in the fusions because the amount of, yeah, it's 1 to 5. I mean, 1 to 3k is probably more for the infusions, and the food is even higher than that. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, a lot of builds, especially if you go for really fast-paced builds, having not the right food, or for example, going from, that's very good example here is, like you go, for example, from this food, bowls of sweet and spicy butternut squash soup, which gives you 100 power and 70 ferocity. If you go from this food to the ascended version, which gives you the same but 66% chance to steal life on critical hit with an ICD of 1 second or something, you get 400 or not even DPS more. Yeah. So this is not even close to being relevant for most people because it's the average number fluctuates more than this. So that means the food is not really the thing that actually keeps you from getting not close enough to the benchmark. It's always your rotation. Guild Wars 2 is so important that you hit your rotation, especially the opener is really important on most builds, especially in power builds. If you nail your opener, your DPS will be way higher than if you do your opener okay-ish and after that you actually do it quite decent. The opener is so important, especially in real fights, because in real fights, the opener is the thing that always happens. Yeah. And after that, it is somewhat either it's over fast, sometimes there's a phase, sometimes it's not that long. It depends a bit, yeah. But the opener is always happening. So if you can get the opener and the first number in the benchmark correct, I think that's the most important thing that you should aim for. So currently I'm in a circ, or I try to be in a circ, but it doesn't look like it's actually happening anymore. So I guess I will just go and get some roaming going. Yeah. But it's really, really important. I think if you want to optimize and try to get better at a build, then I think it's actually, for me, very important, this advice to always say, okay, try to reach 80% on the golem. That's the number, 80 to 90%. And then you are good. Then you should be completely fine in real scenarios as well. You don't have to go over 90%. Of course, that's even better if you can achieve that, but it's not necessary. It's very unlikely that this will be the reason why your group fails or something. Yeah. And I also don't run, how's it called, infusions on every single of my characters. So I always try to calculate that in. So if I have no infusions on a specific character, then typically it's better if you just say maybe 2%, 3% of the end number will be added on top just because I don't have infusions that actually matter. So Moist, now I'm roaming. That's the difference. Previously I was on a circ and tried just some really classy Weaver build. Now I'm playing some really crazy cook hammer Weaver build for World vs. World, which is obviously very off meta, but I have to be honest, it's actually really, really strong. I think not a lot of builds can actually fight that. It's actually insane. I really want to get a 1v1 going here because this is actually very surprising how strong this build is. Openers are the most important part, also because most fights are really short, for example, fractals and easy strikes. Yeah, exactly. Which means your opener is far more impactful than the sustained DPS. And that's the reason why, for example, if you play let's say you play Quickness Herald or maybe Alacrity Power Renegade, yeah, where people say, the DPS is not that crazy, yeah. But if you really make a perfect opener, do a perfect opener in your Fractal or Strike mission run, oftentimes you can out DPS a mediocre DPS player because the opener is way more important than anything else. I was on Quickness Herald, even though this build is really bad in the terms of DPS, it's not a very good DPS build in that sense. And if you nail this opener, and it's really good, on Bone Skinner, for example, I was top DPS on a Quickness Herald. Yes, of course, I admit that the group was not very good, but that should never be the case, you know? A DPS build has 25% at least more DPS than a Herald, just baseline, and I still was top DPS. So it's really, really important that you train on the Golem and try to get the opener. Okay, let's see Catalyst 101. Please, 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 please. No, don't leave me. So Hammer Weaver in PvE for high-end PvE is I don't know. It's not really good on paper, sadly. It will get a buff after the patch. So come on, fight me, please. Yes. Got the healing skill interrupt. I don't get any damage. Oh, it's so good. Okay, now it's getting slowly a lot of people, I have to admit. Please let me live. What are they doing? Please let can I win this? I'm not sure. They have a lot of damage. Ooh, I'm dead now. Oh, no, they got me. Oh, so sad. I actually could have won that if I got the cleave against the Willbender. It's such a fun build. It's actually insane. If I played it a little bit better, I think I could have won that. This build is just really... Weaver is so bad, you know? Put it in the last spot and then instantly showcase that in a 1v3 you could actually have killed them. It's actually insane. Yeah. I'm almost done with my Gen 3 crafting, but need to decide which weapon I want to make to sell. Boy, I think you should... I think the problem is if you look at prices, I think they are fluctuating. So sometimes you go for one that you think is currently the highest and then someone else was the same and then you compete against them. So I think you should go for one of them, yes, to sell, but I don't know which one. I think it's really hard to say. Sorry, I can't give you a tip there. Would I have won with the same build? Probably not. Kata doesn't have the sustain of a Weaver. That's the truth here. I have so much sustain because I'm playing Weaver. That's the weird part here. But yeah, I don't know. I think the damage is a little bit not lackluster. You see, I cleared the camp very easily here. But okay, do we get a power 101? Looks like it. Yes, nice. I think this is a power. This he will lose so hard. It's actually insane. Look at this. And he will die to the Condis now. Such a good build. I like it. Showcasing the Weaver potential, you know. Gotcha. Come on, just stop. Stop running. Why are you running? I'm just so slow. That's the only negative part here. Yeah. Yeah, Celestial Cutter could have been better. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. Maybe it's better. I don't know. I just wanted to showcase some Weaver gameplay. That's yeah. Maybe it's true. But I'm just a Weaver fan. I want to make this build work. Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Mobility is key in a 1v and slow camera view. You're gonna die eventually if you can't outplay him. Yeah, I mean, it's true. I could have won that if you. I also tried. I mean, I could have played sword dagger maybe even, but then you lose a lot of the nice. You know, the orbs are so much damage and damage mitigation. It's actually insane. So, yeah. Speed Relic could be an option. I'm currently on Relic of the Mirage because I want to get some more Condi pressure because I feel like the defensive on this build is actually quite nice. And yeah, maybe speed, but I don't have a lot of swiftness access. That's the problem. Oh, we have a dead eye here. That's so good. Easy. You know, the reflex were up. You need to have swiftness to make Speed Relic work. Yeah. Maybe you can make Wayfarer work because that gives you passive movement speed all the time. Maybe that's actually the way to go. I want something that gives me movement speed. Yeah, maybe. But I have the reason why I have movement speed on my rune. That's my theory craft here. So I have the relic slot free, but I'm not sure. I need some more damage. That's why I was going for Relic of the Mirage, but it's also not insane. I have a lot of dodges, so maybe that makes it work. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I this build is just destroying Willbenders and Thieves. It's actually insane. It's completely wrecking them. Because they have to engage on you at some point, and they instantly get 5 Condis or something from the orbs that you have around you. Huh? It's so fun. Yeah. Yeah, I really like to have fast-paced playstyle. That's why I don't like hammer in a lot of situations. But I think on Weaver, it's actually very underrated. Yeah. Yeah, but if you take this one, that's true. Yes, you're correct. You get swiftness all the time, but I feel like this one is insane. You know, dodge and barrier on dodge. It's really good. I think Weaver is really good in that regard, but I already have so many cleanses that this one would just be such an overkill. Because, you know, how much does it give me? 40% movement speed, and I get 25% on my rune already. But maybe, yeah, maybe. So you have, sadly, you don't have a lot of combo fields on this build because you're not playing with Catalyst, so you don't get the Catalyst thing. So the only combo field that you really can use is actually, wait, is there a combo? I think there is no combo field on this hammer set. You're right, actually. This one is completely useless then. But what would I take? Stoneheart? To go even more defensive? I guess we can try that out and go for this one. And then I get 40% movement speed, and when gaining swiftness or cleanser condition. Oh, come on. Yeah, and now you're dead. Good burst here. Good burst. Oh, come on. This add-on is Splish Hut. It's just a Splish Hut module that shows me how many kills and with World versus World ranks I got in the last in this session. Yeah, come on. Let me theory craft my build first. That's actually so mean. I think it works. Maybe. I don't know. I think the problem is you lose a lot of vigor uptime. You lose because you really like vigor and you don't have access to vigor without this trait. That's why I'm not sure if that's really the difference maker here to get swiftness. Because, yeah, maybe. It depends, of course. I mean, Earth is giving me a lot of protection because of the Fire Aura. Whenever I swap to Fire, I get Fire Aura, I get protection from that, and I get stability access. Yeah, of course, you're right. You could go Arcane and you play a classical Fire Weaver build, but I feel like I don't want to always play the same build that is already somewhat the usual thing, because that's not working, you know. No one plays Fire Weaver for a reason, because you don't have stability and you have almost no protection uptime. So that's why I went with Earth, because you get protection, you get stability. That's what you like. But I feel like that you still lack a lot of just movement capabilities. So maybe Sword would be a better option. Then you also have a lot of leap and blast finishers, and then you can also go for Diamond Skin if you wanted. Yeah, I think that makes sense maybe. Diamond Skin, Woven Stride, and then maybe you can go for, if you really want to go crazy, you could go for Relic of Nyos, because you have so many cleanses. Every time you cleanse, you heal. That's a cleanse, that's a cleanse, and that's a cleanse. So I think that should work somewhat decent. Maybe we try Sword now. Yeah. And you have way more mobility on Sword. Yeah, it's true. I mean, you could go from to a different rune, but I'm not sure if you get way more damage just from choosing a different rune, because Traveler gives you everything that you want except the last slot. So what would I choose here? Probably Leadership, maybe, for more boon duration. I don't have that many boons, so probably Divinity is the way to go. To get even more stats, probably. I don't need boon duration on this build. Yeah. I mean, I was also thinking about going for full Condi and just saying, okay, I will go Trailblazer or something. But at this point, I think you lose a lot of your damage, because Sword or Hammer they have both a lot of power scaling as well. So I think, I don't know, and the healing power is also important on an Elementalist. I think it's just, Weaver in competitive modes is just, it's okay, but it's not, you can't make it really crazy good. That's the problem. If I would have played Catalyst in all of those fights, I would probably have been better off. Maybe even won them. So yeah, that's just the truth here. It's the sad part here. Yeah, Lightning Rod is obviously also okay, but it's the sad part is, if you fight, for example, against a decent meta pick like an Untamed, like a Celestial Harbinger or something, or yeah, something like that, you will probably lose. You know, that's just, you can't really win against those really broken builds on some kind of off-meta Weaver pick. It's just, and I feel like if you already know that, why are you playing a build that is not really performing that well? I like it, yes. That's why I'm doing it and testing it. But I feel like oftentimes it's better to choose a very, very good build in the current meta and then go for something that is actually able to outnumber the situation very easily to win them. I don't know, yeah. I mean, I'm not a big Hammer fan, to be honest. I think Hammer is only working decently for me because I like to have quickness on Catalyst. That's the only reason. If I play Hammer on Weaver or Tempest, I feel like such a slug. I really don't like that. I think Hammer is way too slow in my opinion. So let's see. Come on. Don't be AFK. Please. So I couldn't cap the camp. The camp is still... we still have the tournament thingy. So we can't actually cap it yet. So I just killed the guard so I get participation if someone else does it in the meantime. Come on. Oh, come on. How many people are here? That's not good. Okay. Did they leave? I hope they left, because I don't want to fight against 4 people. I want to fair 1-on-1 to test this build first. I don't know. But like I said, I think Viva is... I really like Viva. I like the fantasy, but I don't see it as some really broken build right now. You can make a tanky Viva, actually, which is actually working decently well. You could see it in 1v3 before. But it's typically, if you want to have a lot of damage, I think Catalyst is the superior choice. Yeah. I think Viva is one of the worst specs currently, which is really sad because I really like it. Okay. Staff Tempest, come on, that's a 1-on-1 that you want. Stop running. Okay, I guess I will focus on this guy. Maybe not. Okay, we hit this one. That's good. But there's so many people here now. Why are they always 3 people? I can't get a fair 1-on-1. And now even more. Nah. It's not gonna work. I tried my best. Pistol needs a rework. Just reading the rotation makes it sound awful. Yeah, pistol on Elementalist is... I think it's one of the worst weapons in the game. I think it's so bad. I think I played it once. That's it. I just played it once and then I thought, okay, that's not the weapon I want to play. I think it needs a complete rework. I also think it's not really clear what kind of weapon it wants to be. Does it... You know, it's like Scepter, but Scepter is superior in every way. Why would you pick a pistol? I don't get it. But yeah. I mean, not every weapon has to be perfect, I know that, but this one is definitely not the way. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can play some Catalyst. Let's go for some Catalyst. What are we playing on Catalyst? We can go for some Hammer Catalyst. I guess let's do that. Let's go for some Hammer Catalyst gaming. Maybe... I mean, Dagger is probably superior. Let's play some Dagger. I like Dagger a lot. I like to run defensive stuff and some mobility on there. Then I would also swap the rune, of course, back to maybe Traveler. Nios is okay. Yeah, let's try it out. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the biggest part of having legendaries is just the convenience of swapping on the fly stuff. That's really nice. I think that's one of the best things that you can have in Guild Wars 2 for sure. I mean, what would like Elementalist look like? I think they would actually keep Elementalist quite similar. I think Elementalist in new games, or let's say Guild Wars 3 or something like that, they would look quite similar. I think Elementalist is a class that is very clearly fleshed out how they want to have it. I wouldn't see another future, I guess, yeah. Yeah, but I was talking about the swapping. I think it's really, really nice. I really like it also with the relics and stuff. I don't want to always think about having the weapon correctly in the inventory, having it on the bank, my other armor set and stuff. I really like to have that. Guild Wars 3 confirmed. I mean, I would really like to have some more information on that so that I could confirm it to you, but sadly I don't. It's the sad truth. I don't have more information than the average Guild Wars 2 player. Okay. That's a circ. Okay. Third time is the charm. Now this time I will get this camp. I'm playing Catalyst. I'm playing a broken spec. So this has to work, doesn't it? In Guild Wars 3, Elementalist will not have any weapons, just elements. I mean, I don't know anything about how the game will look like. Maybe we have a completely different system, how the weapon system is designed. I don't know. We will never see. Doesn't it need less buttons, or maybe not all 4 elements at one time? I mean, I think it's okay if maybe you could make an Elementalist spec that doesn't have all the attunements at the same time, so that you can choose, for example, if you go to Fire Triathlon, you get Fire. If you go with Water Triathlon, you get Water. And that's the only 2 elements you have, maybe. But I think, I'm not sure if that's really, you know, if that's changing the Elementalist in a good way. Because if you just decrease the amount of weapon skills you have, I don't know. Oh, there is someone fighting me, actually, apparently. Yeah, you know, if you don't notice even there's an enemy player, then you know it's an easy 101. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's a mobile or iPad exclusive. That would be sad, but I guess that could happen. Could happen. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the races are probably they will go for less races. Oh, it's a Warhorn warrior? What? Okay. They are against, I'm against 3 people or again. Okay. And is this camp now capturable? I think so. I mean, they have a support warrior. I mean, how can I actually fight them here? Come on. What is this, guys? Who roams with a support warrior? That's just... They really want to annoy their enemies, you know? Give me the Dolyak, please. But they get the minus percentage buff, you know, and that I can't really... Maybe I can actually kill the warrior. Nah, I can't. It's just annoying. And they're playing so annoying shit and they can't kill me. What are they doing? Yeah, I don't know. This is not really fun, I have to be honest. Come on, guys. Let me fight one of you and not the full bunker warrior. Come on, I just run away now. That's annoying as fuck. World versus world. I mean, what is this, you know? Who plays the support warrior to defend a camp with a Mirage that plays completely defensive? I mean, come on. What has roaming become? You just don't want to die, you play full tank. That's it. So bad. The feedback is really good against me. Nothing is reflectable from my stuff. Nice. Now he has banner for sure. Yes, I knew it. Come on. Yeah, I don't know. I think roaming in Guild Wars 2 was in a way better spot in the past. That much is for sure. If you look at fights like this, then you think, oh my god, why am I even trying to play that? There's another catalyst. Come on, let me kill you. It's a staff catalyst, I think. Yeah. Wait for the earth thingy. I mean, that's all. What are they all playing? Nice, perfect. I didn't even have to stomp. Yeah, I know about the make roaming great again. That's true. I mean, there are some nice montages in there already, so I think that's nice. But I just feel like a lot of the times it's not. At least when I roam, there is either you find a build that is completely inferior to yours, or it's just very annoying. I mean, I could go underwater fight here. That would be also fun. Some trident gaming. Yeah, I mean, that's not even a real fight. Yeah, I saw a lot of, I saw some core engineers, I saw some mesmers and stuff. We already watched some really cool videos on stream as well. So I'm really interested how the competition is actually ending. I think it's a nice incentive to play some roaming and make some videos about it. But it has been in a more healthy spot for sure. Thanks for the follow, this Soto and Sulf, by the way. Really appreciate it. Maybe we can get some more roaming here. I mean, you could also play that with Hammer, I guess, if you wanted to. But I feel like Hammer is... I don't like Hammer a lot. I think Dagger is way more fast-paced and really like the playstyle. Also, the combo fields on Dagger make this trade extremely strong. On Hammer, it's not worth it. Yeah. And maybe you can still make it worth it, but... Okay, we have a Willbender. Hopefully this time we get someone that fights it back. Does he fight? No. The Earth Grandmaster for cleanses on finishes is actually bugged. It says it cleanses 2 and blast, but actually it's just 1. I mean, it's even if it's just 1, you know, it's just broken. Anyway. That's the truth here. This trait is so good. It's insane. Especially if you run it on a dagger build, because you have so many blasts and leaps and combo finishers in general that it's actually crazy how much value you get from the cleanses. And it's so consistent, you know, you don't have to really do a lot to actually make that work. It's all your attacks do that passively. So just even if it's bugged, it's just still very, very strong. And don't forget, you can make the use out of that, for example, on Nios with the Nios relic. You have so much passive healing. Every time you cleanse a condition, you heal for 250 or something. So that means with this build, you are immune against conditions. And they actually help you because you cleanse them and you get healing from that. So this trait really is absolutely broken in my opinion on Dagger. Yeah. But I feel like it's very defensive, this build. If I want to kill, for example, 3 people outnumbered, this build will outlast them oftentimes, but I'm not sure if I can kill them. You could see that with the warrior. If they have support, if they are defensive, then it's actually not easy to kill them because your burst combo is probably burning speed with fire grab, and then you do it again after you're using your lead skill. But oftentimes that's just not enough for actually killing decently skilled players or decently tanky players rather. So it's a fun build, it's a very strong build in outnumbered situations, but it's not the build that you can easily burst someone. I think it's just not gonna happen. And I mean, now I kill you because you just stand there AFK. Oh, maybe not. Come on. Rest and then you can get the 1-on-1 going. Or the 1v2. No. This is really social. They are in the same team. And he didn't even rest the other guy. Now, the most annoying spec to fight in roaming is Druid. But I'm actually quite decent against Druid because I have so many cleanses. Let's see how it performs in 1v2. I will just try to go on the Druid because the Willbender will go melee anyway. You see, this was a 7k burst, and the Willbender is almost dead after that, yeah. That's again, why is everyone playing so tanky stuff? It's actually really annoying. Says the Celestial Dagger Cutter. Yeah, I know the irony in that one. I have to concentrate. I want to win this fight. You know, I think it's actually doable. I see I pressure the Willbender. Oh, another person, another challenger approaches. Oh, come on. How many people do they need to kill me? I think they can't even do it now. I'm actually not an Elementalist main. I play all the classes. Stop it. I mean, I got away, but I wanted to get some kills, you know? That's the annoying part. How many people are there following me here? Or maybe I can get a kill here against this druid. He really wants me, but he will lose in a 1-on-1. That's the cool part here. Yeah, Elementalist in World vs. World is just insane, especially on Catalyst. Oh, come on. Yeah, never ending 1-on-1. That's why I don't like Celestial. It's never ending. I mean, druids are just tanky. It's just annoying. Look at this. It's just CC and emob spamming. That's the only thing it can do. Yeah. I don't know. That's just annoying, I believe. At least I can leave, you know? It's not like I have to lose the fight to actually leave. But still. Oh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. It's just I don't like this tanky meta, you know? I want to have something that is decently, you know, I want to have a 1-on-1 that's over after 30 seconds. Not in 1 second, that's I don't like either, but not something that is, you know, taking 10 minutes and then we have to just surrender. It's just annoying. It's really bad. Yeah, the cooldown is only 25 seconds now, so it doesn't work. He was just playing a full tank, really annoying shortbow druid, you know? It just CCing and immobilizing. That's the only thing they do. And they just heal themselves. So it's just like, yeah, okay, I don't want to die, and I want you to annoy so much that you just lose at some point. Yeah. I don't know. I think Celestial, I think the nerf that they should have done to Celestial, in my opinion, is just decrease the amount of stats you get passively. So you should still get concentration and expertise, but the amount that you get, you know, overall, the total sum should have been lower. So if they would just have, maybe let's put it to 70% or something, so that you can still play a build that actually makes use out of all stats, but it just get way less overall value from it, that would be, in my opinion, the most fair nerf. But I'm not sure if they even can do that. Yeah. I think it was not really a big problem in the amount of damage output or stuff that I had. It's just like, this is a build that I probably can't kill in a 1-on-1 because it's so tanky and it's annoying me so much. I don't know. It's really bad. I don't like to play tanks. I think it's just very bad. And if you run a full DPS build, like a full Mirage Spear Mirage with full Glass Cannon, or you run a full, I don't know, full Willbender Berserker build or something, you will just lose against those builds because you can't out-sustain them and you can't burst them. So yeah, what are you doing? It's not working. It's really sad. It's really not really working in that way. You have to try, of course, to come up with a bursty build and have fun with it, but I feel like whenever I try, I just fight against those builds and I feel like, okay, it's not gonna work, you know? I think the only real build that has some decent chance is, I don't know. I don't really know. The problem with Druid is the stealth cleanse super speech they get from Avatar. Yeah, the cooldown is very low for Avatar, that's true, and then they use all their stuff and they can just spam it, and you have so much emob and stuns and stuff that it's really annoying. It's really annoying. Yeah, full damage is Willbender and Thief. I agree with that. A lot of classes can't do that. But even a Willbender and a Thief, they will lose against a matchup like that. You will just lose. It's just not possible. You don't have enough cleanses to actually outlast them. And you can't burst them because they just stealth or just reheal after and daze you permanently. So you can't, even with a full damage Thief or Willbender, you will not be able to break through builds like this. It's just not working. Yeah. I think if you play against a good druid or a good, let's say, full tank Elementalist, it's impossible. You will not get the burst. The nerfs to Stormsinger Relic make Willbender worse, and Thieves are just, yes, of course you can engage and disengage whenever you want, but that doesn't make you win the fight. You know, it's not like you will win because of that. You will not lose, but you will not win, you know? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think I like some roaming builds that have some thought put into it and not only want to survive and don't really kill people. I think it's really, I'm not a big fan of Druid being so strong. I also am not a big fan of Catalyst being so strong, because I think Catalyst is also a build where you don't think a lot. You just press all your buttons and you will perform decently well. I would rather have some build like a Fire Weaver or something, where you have to try to align your combos and get a Fire Burst going and something, and a lot of burning and stuff. I think that's way more interesting than a build that is just press all your buttons and you will win. Yeah. I mean, let's go for some Necromancer roaming, I guess. Yeah. Or Minstrel Untamed with Greatsword and Staff. I mean, you can also, there are some, Minstrel is one of the most obnoxious combos that you can play. Yeah, Deadeye is also, Rival Sword Dagger, that's the Deadeye build, the really annoying Deadeye build that you can actually make work, or actually works against a lot of people. It's really, really strong. I think Rival Deadeye is really underestimated. Minstrel, there is some really cheesy Minstrel Harbinger build. I'm not playing it currently, I'm playing a Demolisher build, but you can play full Minstrel Harbinger and make use out of your lifesteal, because the lifesteal doesn't scale, so you can play full tank and all your lifesteal will just do the damage for you. And if you run that build, it's so annoying. You can actually win 1v5s with it after 30 minutes or something, because you will just kill them. Yeah. Let's now play a real build. Sad. Okay, once again. You kill by living? Yeah, I mean, you kill the people that are actually just surrendering to your tanky build, I guess, yeah. No, if you play full Minstrel, you don't have more damage than a full Berserker build. Because the thing is, you get power and ferocity, condition damage, but you don't have crit chance and you don't have ferocity. So you will never have more damage than on a build that has full damage. But I can see that you will deal more damage in the end, yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can play, this is a very meta build. It's just a power harbinger. You can play that actually if you want with full Minstrel if you really wanted to, but it's not the main way. Okay, now I can actually kill this guy. Because I actually was killed by this supervisor because he was invulnerable. Oh, the Condis. It's a Condi holo. Come on. Who plays that? That's so annoying. Why are they playing so annoying stuff? Okay. Back to Celestial Catalyst. I want to kill them. Welcome, Alison. Welcome. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of playing. Why are there always, you know, the really try-hard players in roaming run around with a support, you know, they run as a support and a DPS. What? This is completely unfair. Of course I can't kill him in a 1v2. Even if they are really bad, I can't kill them. because they have a support. Yeah, I mean, I don't like it. Let's see if I can do that 1v2 actually on a really nasty tanky build and not an offensive build. But it's just, you know, if you fight against decent players, it's really annoying. If they have a support, it's not working. Okay, hopefully they are still here. Otherwise, I will just capture the camp. I think they're not here. Okay. Ah, they are back. Okay. I will just... Okay, there's the hollow. The CC chain is actually impressive, I have to say. Come on. The thing what's killing me is actually the confusion. I'm not joking. The confusion that an engineer puts out is actually annoying as hell. Can't cleanse it? And my weapon swap is actually also killing me here with the... Because attunement swap will actually... Okay, it's annoying. I mean, they are obviously playing together. That's not really fun. Yeah, obviously they want fights. I mean, I think we can just kill them. Yeah, the NPCs help a lot. It's true. I mean, it's I want to win the fight. You know, it's actually winnable. I think I can win this 1v2 if I don't have the NPCs there, and if I just don't get confusion bursted, because that's the thing that kills me there. The confusion that I can't cleanse, because confusion is actually Elementalist's biggest weakness, because all the stuff that you cast, all the skills will proc it, even elemental swapping. And if you're running arcane, also the dodge will proc it. So you have so many passive things that will happen. I might just try to kill this guy before they come back, so that I can actually capture the camp, and then we have an easier time. Okay, never mind. Then I will just leave and try to bait them. Okay, now we are safe. Okay, I think this guy's dead now. Okay, we got him. Should we jump on this guy? Just because it's you know, they are annoying us. No, we don't do that. We are friendly here. I mean, it was a fair fight after all. They just used the world versus world terror. We got them. We got all of them. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, at some point they have to die. I mean, there are also 4 people here, but I guess we could also... I think I could have killed all of them in a 1v1. But it was a nice fight. It was a nice fight for sure. I like to have some challenge, you know, it's not... I don't want to have people that don't fight back. That's boring. Yeah. Yeah, the blind spam is annoying, and also don't forget, in the first time we had them, they had this buff, and if they have this buff, it's actually crazy how much damage they put out. More damage than all the players together. So that can kill you if you don't kite it away. So you have to be really careful there. Fighting with NPCs near is not good, yeah. I would agree. I also think the problem is what you underestimate is that they also soak their damage. So if there are 5 NPCs around them, then it might be that my burning speed, because it has a target cap of 5 people, it might be that it doesn't hit the player. You know, it might be that I cast it and then it hits 5 NPCs instead of the player. So all my damage is gone, you know. So you have to be really careful there to not fight in a big group of NPCs, because sometimes you just can't deal enough damage. Yeah. But I guess if we have more damage, you can also just kill the NPCs before you kill the players. I think those fights are really annoying, but it's actually, we could have won that, yeah. You just have to play it smart and kite them away and really try to kite the players with you, so the players really stick on you and the NPCs lose interest and lose aggro. Yeah, without the NPCs, I would probably have gotten them, that's true. I mean, it's just an annoying comp. Condi Tempest with a Condi Holo. You know, that's just what they support each other and have really annoying thing. And then you have the Condis from the NPCs with the blinds. It's actually a really disgusting combo. And of course, I mean, in a fair fight, you know, if you think about it, if you have a similar skilled player against you, and they have another similar skilled player against you, then you should just lose. That's how it works, you know. If you fight in a fair fight, this more skilled player should win. But if you have a fair fight against 2 people, they should win. Just baseline. That's how it works. You know, why should you win a 1v2? It's just not how it should work in a competitive mode. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm currently in a very high world versus world rating from my alliance. That's true. But it's also Saturday, so maybe they said, okay, we don't have any queues if we do it in the afternoon or something. Yeah. Okay, so we have a Daredevil here. Does the Daredevil fight me? Oh, it's a bound Daredevil. Not gonna work. I mean, the block is useless against this guy. That's the sad part. But I can at least get my Immobilize to work. That was a disgusting steal, I have to be honest. It completely changed my whole attack pattern. Yeah, I mean, it's not a fair fight. They don't deal any damage to me. Yeah, I saw that on Reddit actually. I saw that. It was actually insane. I was surprised how aggressive that can actually happen still in alliances. It's actually crazy. Yeah, I mean it's actually I actually wouldn't play World versus World in this if that would be the case. I don't want to get spawn camped, and I don't like it if there's no fair fights going, or at least somewhat fair fights. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense if you just want to get some camps and stuff, but I think if you want to have some nice Zerg fights, I think this week I would just skip it then. I wouldn't play World versus World if I had a matchup like that. Yeah, I mean, it's always people like to spawn camp. That's just the truth. And I guess then I don't want to feed into that. Yeah. Maybe we can get some nice 101s or 1v2s here. Okay, it's a Dragon Hunter. Probably an easy kill here. What? The emob is there. Insane theory crafting about the emob in the trap. Easy. Okay, so 1v2 in the enemy camp again. Let's see if I can make it work. I mean, this guy is AFK, so it's probably worth it. Two of them are AFK, okay. Okay, the Willbender used all its burst. Didn't hit anything. Okay, I got the Willbender. And I got the Thief. Nice. Sometimes it's not important if there are actually enemy guards and stuff around, because you just kill the enemies anyway. Okay, what do we have? A rival Berserker. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. Okay. Just kill the NPCs this time. I don't want to fight NPCs and the rival Berserker. Okay. He's in Rampage. Just kite the Rampage. Okay, he's in rival again. Dolyak carrying. Oh, now there are actually quite a lot of people back. I guess I have to leave that now. No, let's not leave. Let's try to kill them. Let's try to kill them. Ooh, now it's actually getting a little bit... How many are there? At least 4 people. Ooh, that's a tough one. Okay, let's go a little bit out of my hiding spot. I have 3 people, I think one of them left. There was a Mesmer before as well. Okay, focus the Soul Beast, it's an easy target. Longbow Soul Beast should be not have a lot of damage. Or maybe the Willbender is dead again. Yeah, we got the Willbender. Nice. Armor of Earth plus 25% speedrun is really better than playing with Signet of Air and Rule of the Pack. I would say so, yeah. I would say so. That's at least my that's my playstyle. You know, you should always play something that is favoring your playstyle. You don't want to have something that is actually on paper better, but it's not really your playstyle. Then you will probably lose, because your playstyle should suit your build that you're playing. That's my take always. Nice combo. Like, we got the combo. We got another kill. Yeah, it's the spawn camp farm here. Very nice. I like it. Oh, no crit. Sad. Come on, we can get this kill. It's before someone else respawns and we can finally get the camp here. Oh, the blind from the NPC. Deluxe. Okay, now Untamed is also joining the party. I'm not sure if that's a nice matchup. I think I will leave. That's annoying as fuck. It's two longbow rangers. I don't want them to give them their range advantage, I have to be honest. We'll just kill this guard, I guess. Okay. Just want to kite them a bit away. If I can get a fair 1-on-1, then they will lose. And the stealth thing, it's actually... That's really... What is this? I guess if the Untamed left, I can go back in. Okay, now they are actually getting a lot of them. It's a Necromancer. That's a good target. That's a good target. Okay. The never-ending fight here. Ooh, that was an annoying knockback, I have to admit. Okay, I will just leave. This is annoying. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, this is obviously some really annoying tanky soul beast. It's not playing full berserker or anything. No, I don't have my thing up. Okay. A few more seconds and I can get the nice teleport and I'm safe. No. Oh, so good. Having a teleport versus classes that don't have a teleport. Really nice. Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't do anything against me. It's just annoying. Yeah, Celestial Soul Beast, this is really bad. I mean, I win the 1-on-1 here. I think I win the 1-on-1. It just takes 10 minutes or something, you know. And the perma stealth is also really annoying me. That he's always stealthing and stealthing. And the necro is back. And I will leave again. I don't know. That's just world versus world. I mean, you can't get any interesting fights anymore. Yeah, it's great sword longbow soul beast. It's such a crazy cook. I mean, it's not playing full berserker because then it wouldn't have that much defenses. And I also can't kill the pet anymore because the pet has a cooldown of 25 seconds, which is obviously very good. It's a power reaper. That's good. I mean, I guess that's good then. Maybe in 20 minutes we can get a kill here. Maybe. I mean, he used all the cooldowns now. It should be fine, I guess. Okay, the Necromancer joined me. That's a mistake. Oh, he's playing Greatsword. I like it. I like it. Greatsword has such a big cooldown. Nice. We got a kill. After 20 minutes of waiting, we got a kill. Yes, I have to kill the Soul Beast now. That's correct. That's my plan. But this was my plan 10 minutes ago already, so I try my best. I try my best. He plays with River's Relic. Ah, we get an ally. He's playing with River's Relic because he gets Alacrity, so it's an insane cook. Yeah, I mean, we got them. We got them. Finally. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they were also 1v2 for 10 minutes, so it's only fair if I get an ally in the last minute or last 30 seconds. I mean, I would have killed him anyway at some point, I guess. It's so good. I mean, I won't show it here, but this guy whispered me and wrote me, flamed me to some extent that I'm playing such a tanky stuff and said I can't kill anything, and then I killed them. So it was actually a quite fun conversation. It's just classical PvP, World versus World in Guild Wars 2. Yeah, I fought hard for that kill, I have to be honest. But, you know, I'm roaming. I'm not in for the reward. I want to have fun and I want to get some one-on-ones. I mean, this was just... I don't know. I don't want... I'm someone I want to... If I fight a one-on-one, I want to have that one-on-one clean. You know, I want to know, okay, I lost this one, I won that one. I don't want to have a one-on-one that someone is just getting away because they had luck. I want to actually win this one-on-one in a skill-based scenario. Yeah. Yeah, he flamed me for being tanky and played full River's Relic Soul Beast. That sounds disgusting. But I guess, yeah. I mean, it's just, you know, this is the sad part about the balancing right now. It's like either you play something tanky or you just don't win against the tanky guys. I mean, that's just the balancing right now. I feel like you can't play something really aggressive because you will just lose. So always people that flame you have probably lost against you because they did not play a good build or were just worse at you than you. I mean, just balancing in World versus World right now, I would say. So this is actually currently I'm using Celestial, but you can run the same build with exactly the same thing, just with Marauder, and you will have more burst damage, but you will do very worse in outnumbered situation because your just overall healing output and defense is not as high. Yes. Welcome, Asmo, welcome. Yeah, it's true. The people that actually are really good at kiting are the worst one-on-ones because those are the one-on-ones that take forever. Because if you know how to kite, if you know how to cleanse, if you know how to just survive, even if you're under pressure, then it's really annoying. It's in World versus World, sometimes you have 10-minute kites and it will never end. It's just not working, yeah. So I would say if you run Scepter instead of Dagger in the main hand, then you can play Trailblazer because you have some decent Condi output. If you run Dagger, the biggest Condi damage skill is this one. And it's doing nice damage, but it's not perfectly easy to land all the time. So I would say Celestial is the most Condi damage I would put on a Dagger build. I would not go with full Trailblazer. I think full Trailblazer is not really the way to go. I mean, you can if you go with Scepter, but even then I would say it's probably you have to run a different build than you go for Signet Catalyst. Signet Catalyst with Trailblazer, I would say that works decently. I don't know. I mean, if you run full Minstrel, I mean, you are grieving. And not in the way that you might expect, but it's just, that's the annoying part. Oh, the Holosmith and the Tempest are back. Let's go for another round of 10-minute 101s. Nice, we got them. I mean, I'm not biased to Asura or Sylvari or humans. I have all of them. I play all of them. It's just Asura are my World vs. World characters. It's easy for me to recognize. Play humans in PvE. That's just the superior race for PvE, you know. All the tryhard PvEers have human females. That's just how it is. That's an unwritten rule in Guild Wars 2. And then I play my Sylvari characters in PvP. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like to be in outnumbered situations. That's why I play Celestial. I like to be in a situation that I should not win, but if I play better than the enemy on a tanky build, I can still win it. That's why I like it so much. But it's not something that I would recommend to all players, because if you want to play something bursty, Celestial is not it. It's not Celestial, you can't burst, really. That's just how it goes. And of course, in outnumbered situations, you're correct. A lot of elementalist skills are really good there, especially on Catalyst, because you have so much AoE and stuff that hits all the time. So you're really happy about that, yeah, for sure. Thanks for the follows, Salvo, Bartel, and Ethereal. Really appreciate it. And thanks, Chuck. Really appreciate it as well. Sadly, we don't have any Zerg play, so we could have tested some Weaver again. Yeah. Yeah, I think also that's it for today. So thanks everyone. It was a nice stream. I hope you had some entertainment with me. If you don't know already, I have a YouTube channel where I post a lot of YouTube videos about Guild Wars 2, about everything related to the game. Be sure to check that out if you hadn't already. And thanks all for watching. Really appreciate all the follows. Thanks for the subs. And thanks, Loki. Thanks, really appreciate it. Have a nice Saturday. Have a nice weekend. And see you around. Thanks for watching.